Hey guys, so I see brides ask a lot of questions about customs and traveling with favors and how does it work and do you need receipts and all those sort of things. There's a lot of conflicting info, a lot of different opinions, so I just wanted to share my experience with customs and hope that I can help make your trip through customs a little bit easier if this happens to you. So this is specifically for Mexico. I don't know other countries how their customs work, but definitely look it up if you're going out of the country anywhere. They're going to have regulations for things, tobacco, amount of goods, value of goods. Definitely check it out, but this is specifically for Mexico. So to preface, I brought about 55 tumblers for welcome gifts, and they were filled with mini aloe, travel size Tylenol, mints, like all that kind of random stuff. And then we had about 55 maracas. I had all of my table numbers. I brought 4 bridesmaids bouquets plus my bouquet, so 5. I brought our card box. I had signs for our signature cocktail, for our guest book, and just other random decorations. I definitely brought more than I realized I was bringing. So again, there are regulations on the value of goods that you can bring into Mexico without paying taxes. And I'll explain that at the end. So my husband and I, together, we had 3 pieces of checked luggage. And then we each had a carry-on, his being a rolling carry-on and my being the Wally bag. And then my mom was also bringing an extra piece of checked luggage for us and a carry-on for us. So a lot of bags, but I wouldn't say like a crazy amount of bags, but more than probably the average person going on vacation would bring. So we flew out of Philly. We arrived in Mexico, and there was a group of 20 of us that were all flying together for my wedding. And I don't know if it's just when you're traveling with 20 people, we were definitely slow getting through immigration and then even getting to our luggage. Like, I guess, we stop and make bathroom breaks, we stop and wait for everyone to catch up, there's a line in the bathroom. By the time we got to our baggage, our bags were the only ones left in the entire terminal. It was a ghost town. There was just a random airport worker sitting with our group of bags like, is this abandoned luggage? And then we're like, oh, there it is, everyone was gone, and it's just us. So this is, you get your luggage and then you go over to customs, and I kind of realized as we got to customs, well, we're the only people in this entire room. So I knew we were gonna stick out like sore thumbs. I figured that would play a part in what is about to come up. This was an older terminal. I've heard that they've gotten rid of the lottery system of pressing the button and then green light you go through, red light you get searched, but this terminal still had that system in place. So any of our guests that were in front of my husband and I, they just simply went through, they pressed the button, they all got green. Once the customs agent had seen me, of course, I was wearing a bride shirt, I had a Wally bag, I had a million pieces of luggage, you name it. I really wasn't hiding the fact that I was there for my wedding. He came up to me and he said, "Are you here for your wedding?" And I said, "Yes." And instantly put all of his paperwork down, stopped everything, and pulled us out of the line and pulled the rest of my entire group with me. Everyone else who was behind us came with us. No one else got their bags scanned up until that point, and at that point he asked me the value of goods. Do you have favors? Do you have decorations? Yes. What is the value of the goods that you have? And I said $300 per person. I said 3 of us had $300 worth, and of course that's the max. He maybe thought I was pushing it, so maybe that's why he went further to search. At this point, it was clear he was going to search us. He was taking the arm off of he was moving us over to the other line. He was opening up the scanner. It was coming. So the customs agents brought us over to the scanners. I never even had a chance to press the button. None of my guests that were with me at that point even had a chance to press the button. We were just going to be searched. They did ask me before I put my stuff in the scanner, do you have the receipts for the items that you have? Yes, I do. Okay. So we loaded all of our luggage up onto the scanners. You go to the other side, you wait for it to come out, and then you take it over to the other customs agents who are now going to search through everything. It's really hectic and stressful because now your stuff is all over the place. You're trying to make sure all of your bags stay together and nothing gets separated. You're trying to also keep an eye on your bags that are open, and people are going through all of your stuff. They're not just going through your favors and your decorations, they're going through our personal luggage, my family's personal luggage that have nothing to even do with the wedding items. So it's stressful, there's a lot of commotion, but just, we remained calm and kept our composure and smiled through the whole thing. And they did check that the value of the goods matched the receipts. They checked on there that myself, my mom, and my husband did not have more than $300 worth of favors with us. They checked every single bag. At one point, I had looked over where the scanner was because the stuff was coming out faster than I could bring it over to the customs agents. And I had seen my purse sitting on the floor over there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just in the commotion I went to grab my purse because I didn't want it sitting over there unattended, and they did stop me. Wait, we didn't search that bag yet. And I'm kind of like, it's my purse. I don't know really what I can fit in here that you're thinking I'm like smuggling in, but they did even go through my purse. The only bag they did not go through, and I don't know if it's just I got lucky or if they didn't see it, I have no idea, but the only bag that they didn't check, and it was the only bag that I really didn't want them going through, was my Wally bag. I was so nervous even before travel. I thought, well, if they're going to search my stuff, I'm prepared, I had everything I needed, they're going to do what they're going to do, but I just really, really didn't want them touching my dress. God forbid they have dirty fingers. My husband is here and he hasn't seen my dress yet. I didn't want them to open it up. But when that one had gotten off the scanner, they kind of were picking luggage other than that one. So as we were getting towards the end, I kind of just picked it up and put it on the trolley, and no one said anything. I don't know if they missed it or if they knew they weren't going to search it, but like I said, when I had went over to get my purse, they stopped me immediately. So that was about it. They did question my table numbers were laser cut, the Spanish words for the numbers, for the table numbers. They were laser cut out of wood, painted wood, and I didn't even think anything of it. But they did question those. I didn't even think, because I know treated flowers, treated wood technically is allowed in, but it has to be checked and made sure it doesn't have any contaminants on it. So they did look at the table numbers extra hard and talk about it amongst each other, but in the end, they saw the receipts. I had my letter typed up, what I was here for, zipped it up, and we went on our way. We didn't have to pay any taxes, and all went well. It was stressful, but I'm so glad I was prepared. So I want to share what the actual literature is for bringing your goods into Mexico. Now I have the consulate website up here for Mexico. The official consulate website. Here it is. If you enter by air, you are entitled to bring up to $300 US worth of goods in addition to the goods included in your personal luggage. Meaning it doesn't include your wedding dress, doesn't include your ring, doesn't include any of your personal stuff. It's specifically stuff that is decorations, favors, that's not intended for you. You are allowed to combine this amount with family members. So technically, if I had $600 worth of goods on me and my husband had zero, that still evens out. We're still allowed $300 per person, and families can combine. So I don't know. So then technically my parents would be another $600 total if my mom had entirely $600 on her. If you exceed this exemption, or your family's combined amount exceeds this exemption, but the value of goods does not surpass $3,000. So if it's over $300 in value but less than $3,000, there is a flat 15% rate of taxes and duties which will be applied only to the amount exceeding the exemption. So meaning, if you have $400 worth of goods, they're not going to charge you 15% on the entire $400. They'll charge you 15% on the extra $100. If the value of goods surpasses $3,000, you must hire a service customs broker. I can't imagine that you bring more than $3,000 worth of goods, but in that case you would need to hire a custom broker. So, if again, the tax here for goods over $300 is 15%. Now it's important to know this. If you do know going in that you have goods more than $300, you can start to prepare ahead of time. You know how much you're going to have to pay when you go. You can be prepared if they tell you maybe more than that. You're well informed. You can say, hey, why are you charging me 15% on my entire $800 worth of goods when I should technically be charged for $500, right? Knowledge is key, so it's good to inform yourself. I have seen brides say, okay, so if I know that my value of goods is over $300, should I just not even bring receipts and just, you know, because I know it's going to be over, I know they're going to charge me taxes. No. They can then at that point make up whatever value they want. They can say what I had, okay, well that equals $12,000. I don't know. They can pull whatever number out of wherever and charge you the 15% tax on that. At least if you have your receipt and it says, okay, it's $800, for sure that's not, they can't dispute that. That's how much they're going to charge you taxes on, right? So it's always good to still have your receipt and still be prepared. Brides say they go through all the time and they never get stopped and searched. They never have to provide receipts. It really doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason to it. I don't know if it depends on the day. Again, customs was completely empty. We were the only people, we were the only group in there. So maybe they just had extra time and they saw us and thought, okay, well, there's bride and groom, I'm sure they have stuff. Let's go, you know, let's search them. I don't know. I have no idea why we were searching. Other couples aren't. I do see other couples saying all the time that they were also searched, so it does happen. Definitely print your receipts. Definitely know some basic words when they were talking to me. My customs agents, after the first guy, did not speak any English, so I had the letter typed up that said my reason for being here is my wedding, here's my contact and stuff. Definitely have that kind of stuff so that you can communicate with them if you don't speak English, or if you don't speak Spanish. I had another bride ask me, okay, well, when the customs agent asked you if you were a bride, that's when he pulled you out of line and started searching you, right? So maybe if they ask me if I'm a bride, should I just not say that I'm a bride? No. Lying to a customs agent can be way worse than having to pay a 15% tax on your items. There are fines and fees and penalties for lying to customs agents, lying on your customs form. Again, way worse. And if they look at you and say, okay, you have more luggage than the typical couple brings on a regular vacation, but you're not here for a wedding, then what do you have, right? And then they open up all of your stuff, and okay, they do have wedding related items, but you lied to me and said you weren't here for your wedding. So always better to tell the truth. Honestly, 15% tax is not that bad in the grand scheme of things, but just be prepared for it. From what I've read, it's like they could take credit card, they could take debit, I'm sure they'll take your money, whatever way you can give it to them. So even if that's the worst thing, that you have to pay 15% tax, I mean, it's really not the end of the world, right? I definitely look into things like tobacco. There's regulations on how much cigarettes you can bring in and cigars. I'm not totally sure with it, but I do know that once you get it to Mexico, you cannot dispose of it. So if they say, okay, you're over your allowance for cigarettes, and you have to pay $300 or whatever, you can't say, okay, well, can I just throw them away? No. So definitely look into things like that. Of course, meat and dairy and things like that and fruit are always a big no-no when traveling out of the country, so just don't even risk bringing those sorts of things. And just stay calm. I was really anxious about traveling to begin with. I'm not novice traveler by any means. I've been to like 5 other countries. I've been to Mexico before, been on a plane more times than I can count. But traveling for your destination wedding is a whole different beast. I knew that there was customs regulations. I know that traveling with a big group of people is a lot in and of itself, and add in things like I'm trying to keep track of all my millions of bags, and I knew I was probably going to get searched. So just stay calm. I was prepared, I had the receipts, and I had the answers that they were looking for. So definitely prepare and stay calm. Again, if you have to pay tax, that is really not the end of the world, but prepare for it. Maybe you won't get stopped, maybe they won't even ask you any questions, but it's better to be prepared ahead of time than have a surprise expense come up, right? So guys, I hope this helped. I hope it helps brides in the future being prepared on what to expect going into customs and how they can make it go easier. If this helped you, please give me a thumbs up so I know to keep making videos like these. And if I missed anything, please comment and let me know so that other brides, future brides, can reference this in the future. And thank you for watching. Bye guys.